century started, Muslims as a whole were in a critical era. At a time, a new empire appeared on the world map. Under the command of Genghis Khan, when its army from Mongolia attacked on other territories from expansion of its empire, then one side, it extended from East Europe to Middle Europe. On the other side, it reached Siberia, Indo-Pak subcontinent, China and Iran, were able to assert their power very quickly. The oppression and brutality set by Mongol army was one of its kind and will remain an example till the end of this world. All major kingdoms of the world were breaking away in front of Mongol's oppression. On the other hand, Khwarizm Empire had conquered Khorasan, Iran, Syria and many territories of Seljuk in Iraq. At a time, they were enjoying their golden era. The hurricane of Genghis Khan, along with its all brutalities, moved towards Khwarizm Empire and destroyed it fully. After the destruction of this empire, the Turks tribes were living there started migrating towards a safer place. After those, most of the tribes were Shepherd and Bedouins. Wherever they saw green area and the water, they camped. From these Turk tribes, some settled in Iran and Syria, whereas a few migrated towards Egypt. Among those Turk tribes, there was a tribe named Kai. Kai tribe was bigger and stronger than other tribes. This tribe was full of warriors. Suleiman Shah was the leader of this tribe. Kai tribe, under the leadership of Suleiman Shah, left their native country, Khorasan. After wandering around different countries, decided to go towards Syria. On the way, while crossing river Euphrates, Suleiman Shah drowned and died. Suleiman Shah had 4 sons, Sugurtagin, Gundubdu, Ertugrul and Dinar. After the death of Suleiman Shah, the Kai tribe was dispersed. Sugurtagin and Gundubdu, along with their families and many companions, went to Ahlat. Those who remained chose Ertugrul Ghazi as a new leader of Kai tribe because of his valor and bravery. Ertugrul Ghazi was a brave, fearless and warrior person who knew best of defend his tribe. So he, along with his younger brother Dinar Bey and around 420 families, started his journey towards Asia Minor and ended in Seljuk Empire. During those days, Sultan Alauddin Kekubad first was the ruler of Seljuk Empire, who was very famous for his justice. When Ertugrul Ghazi, along with his tribe, was going to Konya to take refuge under Sultan Alauddin Kekubad, on the way near Ankara, he saw 2 forces fighting each other. He didn't know any one of them, but by realizing the fact that one of force was weak while the other force was very strong, he, along with his small group of members, which were around 444, decided to help the weak group. And all of a sudden he attacked the opponent army with intensity. The opponent army got scared and realized that they got help from anywhere. Being on the verge of victory, they lost the battle. Later, Ertugrul Ghazi came to know that the army whom he helped was the army of Sultan Alauddin Kekubad. There are 2 points of view regarding the opponent army. Some say that it was the army of Byzantine, while majority claim that they were Mongolians. Sultan Alauddin Kekubad was pleased with the bravery of Ertugrul Ghazi and his tribe, was given the area of Karkadar near Ankara in its empire. It was a hilly area. Kai tribe settled there. It is said that the Sultan Alauddin Kekubad had given this area to Kai tribe so that the border of the side can be protected from attacks from Byzantine's army. Sultan allowed them to conquer the areas along the border and add them to the empire. This area was connected with the Byzantine's border. In a very short span of time, Ertugrul impressed everyone with his bravery. After some time, Sogat city was also allotted to Ertugrul Ghazi by Sultan. The result of these victories was that many other Turkish tribes also joined Ertugrul Ghazi and accepted him as their chief. Thus the power of Ertugrul Ghazi increased day by day, and his influence began to be established in surrounding areas. For a landlord to get such a power and influence could have been a matter of concern for Sultan Al-Din, but due to internal disorder and rebellions from state chiefs in Asia Minor, the Seljuk Empire was at the last stage of decline. Although the glory of Seljuk was still prominent in Konya, but the government scope was very limited. On one side, the Mongolians had occupied a large area, while on the other, Christian forces had reoccupied many old Byzantine provinces. Besides this, many Seljuk leaders had established autonomous government. The borders area were usually in a state of war, and there was always a threat of attack from Mongols. In such a situation, instead of getting worried from the victories of Ertugrul Ghazi, Sultan had a sigh of relief, so he re-awarded to Ertugrul Ghazi. So at a location between Yeni city and Bursa, as a deputy of Al-Din. When Ertugrul Ghazi defeated a united army of Mongols and Byzantines, Sultan re-awarded this city as well to Ertugrul, and he named the entire state Sultanuni. He also made Ertugrul Ghazi the commander of his frontline army troop. In this vast area, Sultanuni, there were numerous castles beside landless pastures and fertile lands. But most of the area of Sultanuni was occupied by stubborn leaders, and in order to fully establish his authority, Ertugrul Ghazi and later on his son, Osman Ghazi had to fight for the long period. In 1281, and according to some others in 1288, Ertugrul Ghazi died at the age of 90. Halime Hatun, wife of Ertugrul Ghazi, was the daughter of Seljuk Prince Ghiyas ad-Din Masood. Halime Hatun gave birth to 3 sons, Gunduk, Suwasi and Osman. After the death of Ertugrul Ghazi, his successor was his youngest son, Osman Ghazi. Osman Ghazi, like his father, was a true Muslim, brave and courageous person. He also continued the series of retreats. In 1299, when Seljuk Empire was completely over, Osman Ghazi announced his autonomous government in all his conquered areas. Thus, the Osman Empire was established separately from the Seljuk Empire. So a new empire appeared on the world map, which survived for more than 600 years and which extended over 3 continents with an area of around 20 million square kilometers. Ertugrul Ghazi was buried in Sogat. His son Osman Ghazi also built a mosque there. The current tomb of Ertugrul Ghazi was rebuilt in Sultan Abdul Hamid era. In 1998, Ertugrul Ghazi Mosque was built in his honor in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan province.